is I pinned up at the top there, my guru, our Rebellionaire robotics guru is Dr. Scott Walter. Here's his interview with Herbert. You guys know these guys, but a lot of the questions in the space today are answered in this. So please maybe go bookmark it so we can speak to these points.
Hey, Ellie, can I jump in here real quick?
In terms of how Optimus is trained, I'm not sure how unique it really is. I think you've seen some of these techniques employed other places, but it's kind of, conceptually similar to FSD. It's a model that's running locally on the computer. It's trained using human video, and you can kind of give it a prompt and it can do something. So I think they're kind of still in the early stages of experimenting with what that model looks like. I think Tesla has a unique combination of manufacturing capability, but also expertise in training models and the compute power to do it. So in terms of who would be their closest runner-up on the software side and the AI model side, I would bet that it would really be one of the Mag 7 tech companies is really, I think, probably one of the only organizations that has the resources to put into training a great foundation model for robotics.
Thank you, Omar. Dallas, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, but I like the Optimus talk more. Mine was more back to Austin geographically for Robotaxi, but I'm going to keep it on the topic we're on. I like it.
Cool. Yeah, it's very vivid.
From a hardware perspective, there's a lot of interesting companies like, Unitree in China and others that are doing some interesting things hardware-wise. But kind of like in self-driving, you are, I think, seeing a similar bifurcation between the companies that really excel in hardware and the companies that really excel on the software and AI side.
Wolf was asking you that question. He said, there are so many competitors or so many other brands from China when it comes to robotics and in comparison to the cars. But obviously that was it was wrong about it. I mean, cars, obviously, it's a big industry. So, I find it funny. We see a lot of videos and clips online, but I don't know how many of them gonna come to fruition. How many are they gonna be real? In 1 year? I'm not sure.
I mean, China is selling quite a few robots. So, I mean, you've got humanoid robots like Unitree and so many others. But you've also
report bug
restaurant and are on wheels and just bring food to people. And they sell so many of these in places like Japan where they don't necessarily have a labor force that can come in and do those jobs. Even in California, I've seen some of these robots, bringing food to the table and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're probably selling already thousands and thousands of robots around the world out of China.
But these are not the robots that's gonna change the world. That's what I'm saying. We're still waiting for the one robot that can do anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, these are typically purpose-built, around certain use cases, whether it's either industrial or, retail or restaurants or whatever. And building sort of a more general humanoid robot is a code that hasn't quite been cracked yet, but there's a lot of, progress being made. A lot of companies trying to make a mark in this space now.
How soon before Bradford, the guy from Neuralink, could control Optimus with his neural chip? Obviously, maybe a different variation. That's something that I'm amazed that people like him could leave the house by themselves and travel. Obviously, that's gonna be a different environment. It's not gonna be him. But I love to see how that kind of technology provide different lifestyle to people who right now stuck to one place. What's up, Will?
Hey, earlier someone mentioned that the VO3 appears to have better physics, real life physics. And I think that's great. And one, I wanted to know if Robert thinks or Omar thinks that's true. And then second, is there any read-through to training Optimus if these LLMs are getting better physics? Can we assume the same is true with Tesla?
Well, the state of AI is just advancing really rapidly, and the state of what we can do with deep learning. So that's definitely a tailwind that's lifting a lot of boats. In terms of VO3, the physics is better, but still leaves a lot to be desired. So you can see a couple of videos I posted, the Cybertruck and things like that. Ask it to generate a video of gymnastics, and you're going to see something that looks like it's out of a horror movie. So there's still some limitations on what it can do. Obviously, it's a big improvement. It's a different kind of model that is generating video and is understanding physics in that context versus manipulating a robot. But conceptually, yeah, a lot of the same deep learning techniques can be used to train models in both cases. They do seem to be able to learn the physics, right? So implicit in this Optimus training, you saw the dancing, the household chores. They're sharing, showing it a bunch of videos without telling it about the laws of physics explicitly. It's able to kind of learn how to do these tasks and get a model of physics in order to achieve that. So yeah, deep learning is just advancing really fast. The models keep getting better and better. The inference compute is also increasing. The training compute is increasing. So it seems like almost a sure thing that we'll just get smarter and smarter models powering these robots in the future.
Dallas, you wanted to add something?
You know what? I have completely lost my train of thought. I was listening to that, kind of mesmerized by that. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Now I remember. It was VO3. Omar, do you have access to VO3? Because I just looked at the pricing, and I was down to kind of try out the $20 plan. But then I read the fine print, and that's only VO2, which has been out for a while. So, like, the one that blew people's minds and, like, was producing pharmaceutical commercials that looked like something out of a TV commercial was on VO3. So were you able to find like a free trial of VO3, or did you do the $200 a month plan to get to try that?
Oh no, I just did the basic plan. So yeah, I may still be generating via VO2. That's a good catch.
Yeah, so if you read the fine print, apparently the VO3 or 2 to 3 jump is like unrecognizable improvements. Like it's like the Will Smith spaghetti video gen at all, but I just did a little bit of digging on it, and apparently it's like unrecognizable from VO2 to VO3. So the stuff you're seeing with like the comedian video and the trailer where there's audio synced up to their mouths, like that's all out of VO3, which is a unmeasurable leap forward than VO2.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's pretty exciting then. So I imagine they're probably going to continue rolling that out to everyone over time. I don't know if I'm necessarily willing to pay $200 for it.
Yeah, same
but
here.
I'll wait until they bring it down to the lower tiers, which hopefully will happen soon.
Yeah, I literally fell in a rabbit hole last night watching content that had been produced by VO3. So I guess some people just bit the bullet and subscribe to it.